Well, I would like to welcome all of our YouTube subscribers and the ones that aren't subscribed. So maybe you will after this. One kind subscriber suggested that we do an interview with Patsy to find out her musical past and so forth, what her influences are and whatever else I can come up with. I've got a list of about 9 questions and we'll just start with that. So Patsy, how old were you when you began playing the piano, and what were the circumstances?
Well, I was 3. I was 3 years old, and it was very funny. All of my older sisters took piano lessons at one time or another. They didn't stick with it too long, but they did take them. And we had an old upright which had a very ragged keyboard on it. But even before age 3, I used to go over there and bang, bang, bang. And so Mother and Daddy were hoping to detract me from doing that. So Mother, who worked part-time for a 10-cent store, dime store, she brought me home a little toy piano one day. And of course, you know how toy pianos sound. So I was trying to, I started to play it and it scared me. You know, the keys had kind of a, I don't know.
Rinky-tink?
Kind of rinky-tink or, you know, to me it was an eerie sound. I can't tell you why. And I didn't like it and I ran off. Well, Mother had just brought it home on our lunch break, so she had to go back. And of course, my dad was keeping me. He was disabled, and so he kept me at home before school. And whatever he said was just, you know, it. And so anyway, he came back to the bedroom where I was, and he said, Pat, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. He always called me Pat. Now, I don't really like that, but my family did. I prefer Patsy. It's not Patricia. It's just Patsy. But anyway, he said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. He said, your mother worked hard for that and hoped you'd like it and you wouldn't even play it. And he turned around and walked off. Well, that just broke my heart in two. So I was laying on the bed thinking about it and maybe saying a little prayer, you know, about that. And so I got this urge to go back to the little toy piano. And I stood there looking at it. And as I did, I realized that I could tell what the keys were going to sound like before I ever played it. I didn't realize it then, but the Lord had just gifted me with that. Of course, I was too little to know. So I started with one finger, picking out the tunes of the Old Grey Mary, what she used to be, because I'd heard it on cartoons. And so my dad was in the kitchen washing the lunch dishes, and he thought maybe my uncle, who lived nearby and used to come in for a visit every now and then, he thought maybe he'd slipped in and did it and was playing it. And when he stepped around the door facing and saw me, and he said, do that again. And I did. And we spent about 2 hours out of the afternoon. Daddy had a beautiful singing voice. He'd always wanted to be a big band singer, and he had the voice for it if he could have done it. But anyway, he started singing all these wonderful old 30s and 40s and 50s standards, maybe even a few 20s, and I was picking them out as he would do it. So then it wasn't long till they moved me to the big piano, and I started picking them out there. It was a funny thing because when I started playing, I'd play with my thumbs hanging off the keyboard like this. I didn't think I needed them, you know, because my piano teacher put a stop to that. But anyway, that's probably why I have such a love for that genre of music. That's where I started.
So what pianists did you derive your most inspiration, and who did you try to emulate? Based on that.
I guess I tried to emulate Joanne Castle and Lawrence Welk. I loved Liberace too, but I knew that was hopeless. No need to even try that. But I love Joanne's lively style and her, you know, just her happy, bubbly persona, you know, and so she probably had the biggest influence of any player I can think of.
You've already partly answered this question. Are there other people in your family that also have musical talent?
Actually, my Aunt Thora, I never knew her because she died at a very young age, but she was my dad's oldest sister. And they said she played the pump organ beautifully by ear. And then as I told you, Daddy picked guitar and he sang wonderfully. My late sister Martha had a beautiful singing voice. We used to sing together a lot. She'd sing lead and I'd sing alto. And then Joe and Brooksy had pretty good singing voices too, you know. I won't say we were the Lennon sisters, even though Mother wanted us to be. But we loved, as little girls, me, Joe and Martha and I, Brooksy was too old, she was in high school. But anyway, the three of us would go out there after school and get in swing sets. And we'd swing back and forth and we'd sing all these old 30s and 40s and 50s favorites, you know, and we'd try harmonizing on it. We never did get three-part going, but anyway.
So along the lines of singing, tell the cute story about Alice Lawn.
Oh,
From the lunch
as I said, my sister was in high school. Brooksy, you know, us three younger girls shared a room, and Brooksy, of course, had her own room. And she was very fastidious and neat in how she kept everything. And she had crinoline petticoats because she was a teenager in the 50s. So she had petticoats of every imaginable color. So when she'd go out for a date, I would slip in her room and I'd get one of those petticoats and just pull it right up under my arms, and that was my formal, you know. And then I would pick up my hairbrush or pick up her hairbrush, and I'd usually put a pair of her earrings on of some kind and pick that hairbrush up and sing it to myself in the mirror, pretending I was Alice Lawn from Lawrence Welk.
Then her dad would yell at her to get out of the way of the television
Yeah, that's
set.
what's different. We'd go in there and start dancing around, and he'd say, "You girls get out of the way. I can't see the television. Your mother and me can't see the television." We did dance around.
I know you play a great many genres. What is your favorite?
The one my dad started me out on, big band hits and just good standards of primarily the 40s and 50s, although I had a lot of good stuff out of the 20s and 30s too. So anything from the 20s to the early 60s that's where my heart's at.
This is a dual question. Did you take, because I know the answer, did you take lessons, and for how long, and why did you stop taking lessons?
Yes, I did. I took lessons for 10 years. My dad started me on on piano lessons the day before I started school when I was 6, and he chose a piano teacher that he had known for years because she had even taught music when he was a young boy. So, and I loved her. I mean, she was really sweet, but she kind of crotchety. She didn't feel well. She was a paraplegic and in a wheelchair, and so I'm sure rambunctious little girl like I was, she didn't feel like fooling with that a lot. I'll tell you a funny story about her. She had been sick for a long, long time. We couldn't go to lessons. I don't know if she'd had a stroke or what, but she'd been sick. So my sister that was older than me and I both took, and I would take my lesson first, and then Martha would. Of course, that gave me a perfect opportunity to prowl, you know. And so I'd prowl around her house and eat her life cereal out of the box and everything else on the pretense of going to the bathroom. So anyway, I went out. She told me, said, "Won't you go outside and play today?" Well, little did she know I could get into trouble there, because I went out and there was this huge row of buttercups. She had a really deep lot that their house sat on. And so I thought, I will pick Miss Gussie the biggest bouquet of buttercups in the world. So I just kept piling them on the end of the porch. Well, I had a pile, no joke, it was about like this. And so when Martha finished her lesson, Miss Gussie rolled out on the porch and she said, "What on earth have you done?" I said, "Miss Gussie, I picked you the biggest bouquet in the world of buttercups." She said, "Those were my neighbor's flowers." So I took from her.
Is the operative word.
Yeah, I took from her, and I took from 2 other piano teachers that were dear ladies too. But the reason I tried to quit is because everybody then pretty well insisted that you take classics and study classical music. And while there are many classical songs that are gorgeous, I got tired of never being able to play, you know, what I wanted to play and what I liked. And so when I got age 16, I gave it up.
I know you turned professional at a very early age, like what, age 10, something like that? You
Well,
got paid?
actually, I got paid my first thing when I was 5.
Oh, well, so tell us about some of your earlier experiences on the professional level.
My very first job was playing at a ladies' fashion show. Now, I didn't do all of the stuff. We had a very gifted and very grown lady who played the organ for that. But during the intermission, I had a little bitty organ about this big, and my daddy had built a stand for it. It was a little Emily organ. And so I I played some music for that, and they paid me a grand total of $5 for doing that.
And don't you still own that organ?
Yeah, I still
Yeah,
have it.
yeah.
It still plays.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did that, and I'd go to county fairs and play for talent shows. Not just as a contestant, all that I did that, but like I said, I would play for intermissions and during the beauty pageants when the girls were getting ready and all of this. They'd have me play a few songs. So, goodness, I was used to playing in public. Like I said, by the time I got about 5.
Then moving up ahead when you're like in your 20s and 30s, what groups or individuals did you perform with, like in Nashville or in Illinois?
In Nashville, I played, actually, I was their pianist in that, Radio Days Orchestra, which they didn't have great skills back then. Hopefully they've improved. But man, they had a wonderful book, big band music. And so we did that. And sometimes I'd jump in and sing with their 3 girl singers that they had, do something. Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy or whatever, Proud Mary. So, I had a Tina Turner imitation I used to do. But I played with them, and then when I moved to Bloomington, Illinois, I was selected at the audition to be the girl singer for Heartland Jazz Orchestra, and I was with them for about 12 years. And off and on before that and after, I've sung and played at weddings, which made me very nervous. Receptions I loved, but weddings I didn't care much for, but I do them.
Now, when you were just a very little girl, your favorite male singer on Lawrence Welk was Rocky Rockwell. He was a trumpeter and novelty singer.
Yeah.
And she fell in love with him, and she said at a ripe old age of what, maybe 6?
I wasn't even in school then, probably 4 or 5.
Yeah. She said that to her daddy, I'm going to sing with him one of these days. And lo and behold, she wound up singing with Rocky Rockwell in a very interesting way.
Yeah, Steve Cooper out of Chicago. As a matter of fact, he's the person that Tom and I met through him. But anyway, he has a wonderful orchestra there, still has it. And so anyway, he decided to do a Welk concert in tribute to Lawrence Welk back in 2000, I believe it was. And so he rented a hall in Skokie, Illinois, and he got a string section and all of this, and he actually hired about 6 of the Welk players, and Rocky was one of them. He came out of retirement. Y'all may have seen some of my videos with him singing on YouTube, but we just had a ball, really did. I got to play with him, and then of course Big Tiny Little was there to play piano, which he was fantastic, and I'll never forget. I was so nervous, but anyway, I went out there and played Sugar Blues along with Rocky and Steve. So when I came backstage, Big Tiny was just sitting there with this inscrutable look on his face, and he said, "That was good," So, anyway, that was really a privilege to get to perform with some of the Welk stars. That was great.
Have you? Well, it's kind of a loaded question.
Oh dear.
Do you play in church?
Yes, I do. More the keyboard, which is our organ. I mean, they've got a big organ, but they don't have it hooked up. So we've got a keyboard that has a pretty convincing organ sound. But we have a pianist who is just wonderful. He's I think 84, and has played with camp meetings and things for years. So as long as he plays, I would never usurp his plays because he's fantastic. But I do enjoy playing organ.
And so I guess my last question is, unless you can think of anything else, is do you have any other stories or memories of singing or playing that you care to share that I've not discussed?
But that I haven't told already. Yeah. I'm sure there's some. Not a big deal, but I remember in the 2nd grade, was it 2nd or 3rd? Might have been 3rd grade. Anyway, we had a class play. Every class did a play. And one of the things I had to do was bring my little organ out on the stage, and I played the wedding march for this tiny little bride and groom that were in our class as part of the play. Oh, golly, I remember over at the county fairs, I said, playing piano for them, and several talent shows I was in. as I say, weddings. And when I got in high school, several of my classmates wanted me to play at their weddings, and I never turned them down. But I was a basket of nerves because most of the stuff they wanted, I had to play by note because I didn't know the song, and I don't like to do that. I can, but I don't.
Speaking
care
of
to.
playing by note, Patsy can read music, of course, but
Yeah.
she prefers to listen to a song.
Oh, so much.
And then just play it back.
Well, I'm just.
And I know that many of you have said what I always have said, that she's a phenomenal artist in that regard, because I don't know how she remembers so many songs.
It's just a gift.
It is just a gift, and she'll play a song that she's never practiced and never has performed before. She'll just sit down and play it.
Benny and the Jets was
Yeah, Benny
one
and the
such
Jets.
song as that. I had a young sales clerk in the men's department come to me at the store and say, I do some Elton John there, and he said, "Could you play Benny and the Jets?" I said, "Well, I never tried it, but here goes."
was pretty passable.
It got me by anyway. I want to take this opportunity to say I'm so thankful that so many of you are lenient and overlook all my baubles and mistakes, because if you've listened to me, I make plenty of them. But you're all so gracious about it, and nobody ever gives me a hard time. If they do, I'd probably quit playing because it's taken me a while to get to where I was comfortable playing and being videoed and put out on YouTube anyway.
Well,
but
one thing she is versatile. She plays anything from Scott Joplin to Janis Joplin.
from Bach to the
that
Beatles.
that was a good segue.
Yeah, from Bach to the Beatles. I absolutely love playing for my listeners, both at the store and at YouTube, because you're all so sweet and kind and just say the most wonderful, encouraging things, and it just means the world to me. That's why I'm doing it. I don't make a whole lot of money as pianists go at what I do, but I really love it. It's fun surroundings, and all the sales clerks and my supervisors are just great people. And so the folks at the store, and especially you folks out on YouTube, you've just been such a blessing. And it really is a gift, because I'll be playing, and at times I'll be thinking, how does that go? I don't remember it, and it'll just come floating back to me out of nowhere, and I know it's a good
Well,
word.
that's the beauty of a medley. You can just end it wherever.
That's true.
Go into something else.
Or if you stumble into a key you can't play, just drift out of it and go into something else.
Well, can you think of anything else to share?
When we quit this, I'm
I
like,
know.
oh, I should've
We'll
told
think of a
this
whole
story.
lot of questions. There might be a part two. Who knows?
Usually I have a lot of stories, but I think from memory I've probably told my better ones anyway.
As for myself, a lot of you have said, this is a team effort, and it certainly clearly is a team effort, because she doesn't know the YouTube end of things.
Not at all.
She can play the piano, and that's
That's about it
about
when it
it.
comes to
That's
what
about
we're
it.
doing, yeah.
So we are very much a team, and we love doing it.
And my sweetie does a great job, wouldn't y'all say? I know you would, and you have, and I appreciate that.
I'm not allowed by store policy to hold the camera in a tripod. So when you see it filming her, I'm literally holding it in my hands.
How he does and keeps that steady, I don't know.
Sometimes my hands will go numb, but we get it done.
If I was filming it, it'd be looking like this, So.
All right.
Great job, sweetie.
All right.
Wonderful to talk to you. God bless each and every one of you. And please know how much you're loved and appreciated. Thanks. Bye-bye.